All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start our activity for tonight. And so I want to go straight to the point. I have sent a couple of questions to you to have them in front of you so that you know what exactly we are going to look at. So there's a Word document I've sent to you, which is entitled 2019 Management Science IA question. And when you open that document, which is this on your screen, this is exactly the question you will notice. I posted quite a number of documents to you. I'm not so sure that you have this particular one on your screen. So I would like to know, I would like you to confirm if you have this particular question on your screen. Because you're going to learn, you're going to have the ability to learn questions, how to formulate questions. It is imperative that you know how to formulate. So I just want to go through the first one before we go to the Excel part. Okay. So can you confirm if you have this particular question, whether it was one of the questions I sent to you? Any of you can answer that. And let's do fast interaction.
It was one of the questions.
So you have it, right?
Yes, we have it.
Doc, please, we have it.
All right. So you can open it somewhere whilst you follow through me. I will encourage you to mute yourself, but ask questions if you don't understand, and also try to reply as much as possible. That way I know that you are listening. And yeah, because normally when you're not talking, I tend to get carried away and I talk a lot. And I just move fast. Okay, so there's a question on your screen. Farm Ghana Limited produces Fan Yogo and Fan Choco. The ice creams are produced from 64 gallons of milk the company has available this month. Fan Yogo has 4 gallons of milk and Fan Choco has 8 gallons. But production is limited by the availability of 50 grams of sugar and 120 labor hours. Each type of ice cream requires 5 grams of sugar. A box of Fan Yogo requires 15 hours. Labor hours. A box of Fan Choco requires 8 hours. Demand for each type of ice cream is limited to 7 boxes. The profit for a box of Fan Yogo is 9, and that of Fan Choco is 12. The company want to maximize profit. Okay, so the first is to formulate this as a linear programming problem. First of all, you have to identify the decision variables. And who can quickly tell us what the decision variables are? Let x1 be what? Let x2 be what? Even though this is not really part of the question. Yes, Yasin.
Let x1 be the number of boxes of Fan Yogo to produce, and let x2 be the number of boxes of Fan Choco to produce.
Excellent. It's good you said boxes instead of sachet, because it was very precise here that the word boxes be used. And therefore, using boxes is a very smart way to execute this particular question. Now, this question is not asking you to identify the decision variable, so we are not going to bother ourselves with that. We are interested in formulating, and we are going to start formulating the profit function because that is the objective function. So based on this, who can guide us in formulating the profit? That means that your eye will have to comb around the question, comb around the question, comb around the question until you see anywhere it is talking about profit. Okay. Now, if you don't see where it's talking about profit, you don't have to discuss the profit situation. So who can help us in formulating the profit? Bernard.
Okay, so the statement says that the profit for the box of Fan Yogo is 9, and then that of Fan Choco is 12. So our Z max will be equal to 9x1 plus 12x2.
Exactly. So we have our Z max, and it is a max because of the word maximize profit, equals to 9x1, which is for Yogo, then 12x2. Okay. So it is a very simple 2-variable case. If you don't understand, you can raise your hand. Now we got to deal with a constraint. Who can tell us the first constraint? What do you think is the name of that constraint? And then you tell us the constraint itself. What is the name of the constraint that you want to tell us? And what is the constraint itself? So if you look at it, there are quite a number of constraints here. Yasin.
Gallons of milk is the first constraint.
Okay, so how would you formulate this milk constraint?
Okay, so for the gallons of milk constraint, it is please hold on. For 4x1 plus 8x2 less than or equal to 64.
Why less than or equal to?
Because the question said that they have 64 gallons of milk available, which means that they can only use to a maximum of 64. They can't go above 64.
Very good. Excellent. So guys, as you can see from here, there was a clear indication of milk constraint, and it says 4 gallons for choco. It said that here, 4 gallons for choco, and it also said that 4 gallons for yogurt, then 8 gallons for choco. So it's 4x1, 8x2, less than or equal to 64. This is how you formulate the milk constraint. What is the next constraint? And how do you formulate that? What is the next? So your questions, you got to understand, learn how to formulate. That's the first one, okay? Before we learn how to solve in Excel. That's why I'm trying to go through formulation first. Nanaya, the second.
The next one is the grams of sugar they are constrained by.
Good. So sugar constraint. How do you
Yes.
craft that code?
So that will be, so it says, so that will be 5x1 plus 5x2 less than or equal to 50.
5x1 plus 5x2. Why less than or equal to 50?
So it's also saying that we are the amount available is 50, which means that we can only go use 50 or less.
Good. Guys, please take note that it's not always you'll get the word available. It's not always. It's not always you get the word available. That will give you a clue. Okay. But there is something that you can get. You may get synonyms of the word available. Here, there was a noun, which is availability. So you should think about ways that you cannot go beyond. That's a principle of the availability concept. You cannot go beyond that resource. You can get below, but not above. Sorry, you can get below, but you can't go above the existing. So this is there any other constraint? Yes, Elsie.
So we have the labor constraint.
Okay, what is that?
So it will be 15x1 plus 8x2 less than or equal to 120.
Why less than or equal to?
Because we can only use up to 120 labor hours and not further.
So that was again in the question, because that was combined with the sugar, availability of 50 sugar and 120 hours. So that was why we see. So your eye has looked at the 120, but your brain is looking at the entire show. Okay, let's go to the, is there any other constraints here? These are the easy bits. Is there any other constraint, Darren?
Yes, sir. Please start with the non-negativity constraints.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Is there any other constraint? Isaac?
Yes, sir, there is demand constraints.
Very good. So guys, this is where the tricky part comes. The person will jump straight to the non-negativity constraint, forgetting that there is another very powerful constraint that is not, as for the non-negativity, you have to bring it automatically. But in this question, there was a kind of a constraint that is tricky. If you don't take it, you will not find. And this is it there. And I have made it clear that it's known as the demand constraint. Demand constraint. Now, how do we know that, first of all, it is a constraint? Nanaya, what gives you the impression that that was a constraint?
So he says that we are limited to 7 boxes.
That's it. So the word limited, give you the impression that there is a constraint there. Okay, so what will be this constraint? How do you write it?
So please, can I go on?
Please go on.
I think x1 should be less than or equal to 7, and then x2 should be less than or equal to 7.
Okay. So guys, that's what he thinks. He thinks that x1 should be less than or equal to 7, and then what's the other one? X2, is it? Should be less than or equal to 7. What do you also think? What do you think? That's what he thinks. Is he the only smartest person here? Yes.
Doug, please, I also agree with him because the question said demand for each type. So that's why he separated it. So I think ideally I would have done the same thing.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sir, please, I think with the demand, we will take, you see, even though they said the profit for a box of fine yogurt is 9 and 12. Oh, okay. I think
Just a second.
since we don't know the demand, let's represent the demand by some number, maybe 1. So we can make 1S1 plus 2S2 is less or equal to sorry, sir, I'm stuck somewhere.
He said you should give him a minute. So wait.
Yeah, just a second. I'm coming. So the final equation, I just want to move quickly away from here. The final equation is supposed to be x1, the demand constraint is supposed to be x1 less than or equal to 7, and then x2 less than or equal to 7. And then you can add your non-negativity constraint. This is it. Any questions? Yes.
Please, can you explain?
Can you explain why?
Why that is so? Okay, so he mentioned each type of ice cream. So you could have said that, you see, it's talking about demand is limited. That word demand is limited means the quantity demanded of fine yogurt is limited to 7 boxes. Remember, all along, they were measured in boxes, okay? Not sachets, but boxes. So if it is limited, it means that it is less than or equal to, you can't go above 7. So demand cannot go above 7. This is called a mixed constraint. It's not a resource constraint. It's not sugar constraint or labor constraint or milk constraint. This is a mixed constraint. So demand for yogurt is not more than 7, but it can be less. That's the limitation. Demand for choco is not more than 7, but it can be less. Yes, Abubakar. Abubakar. Yeah.
Sorry, I was meant to be on mute. Would it be wrong if you combine x1 plus x2 less than 7?
Yes, because the demand for each one of them is different from the demand for both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't combine them. If you combine them, what you are saying is that if you do x plus 1, x1 plus x2, what you are actually saying is that x1 is less than or equal to 7 minus x2. You get a point? 7 minus x2. And that is not the constraint that you want there. Anyway, after you've done it like this, the next thing is to now formulate it. Yes, Bernard.
So please, what about if you write x1, comma, x2 less than or equal to 7? Would that
No,
be correct?
no, you cannot do it like that, because anytime there is a comma, you are setting the limitation.
Okay, thank you.
Because you're going to write x1, comma, x2 greater than or equal to. You remember that?
Yeah.
Non-negativity, you're going to do that. So if you tell me that x1 is less than that, x2 is less than that, but you also say that you are greater. So you have increased the thing to, oh, what did you say? You said that you just set it up like this. I just want to be sure. If you set it up like this, x1, x2 less than or equal to 7. Is that what you mean?
Yes, sir.
That's fine. That's the same as this.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, so that is a style of formulating. Let's go back to another question, still on that portion. This one is being formulated already. It's been formulated already, and you are supposed to do it in Excel. So I'm going to do this one. Let me see. Yeah. There was another question that I posted in the page, which was Magic Hands Kitchen. Did you see that?
Yes, Doc.
But you typed it.
Yeah, I typed it. I know, I typed it. So what I'm going to do is that I know I typed that question, so I'm going to deliberately put it here so that we quickly learn to formulate it. Because I just want some of you to just master that formulation spirit. Okay. So I've just dropped that here. Please, can you confirm you see it?
Yes, sir, we
can
can
see
see
it.
it.
Yes, please.
All right. So this is a very quick, easy question. And so we're going to just formulate it. So you have Magic Hands Kitchen, a popular food joint. Okay. In Medina, they prepare and they sell 2 dishes, wache and gobe. Haji Chinkafa, the owner of the manager of the place, needs to decide the number of plates each type of dish to prepare each day. Each plate of wache requires 24 minutes of labor and 2 spoons of beans and 4 spoons of rice. Okay. While each plate of gobe requires 20 minutes of labor, 4 spoons of beans, and 3 spoons of gari, Hajia has 10 hours of labor, 120 spoons of beans, 8 spoons of rice, 16 spoons of gari available each day. She earns profit of 5 cedis on each plate of wache, 4 cedis on each plate of gobe. Because of the recent stigma associated with consumption of gobe, its patronage has dropped. Hence, it does not sell above 20 plates a day. It does not sell above 20 plates a day. So
we are saying 25.
Oh, sorry, 25 plates a day. So question is, how do you formulate this? We all know the decision variables. So I will not ask you about the decision variable. You all know that X1 is the number of plates of wache to prepare each day. X2 is the number of plates of gobe to prepare each day. So we passed that stage. Now, let's formulate the program. So what will be the objective function? Who can tell us what objective function is? And you see, whilst I don't know your level of intellectual acumen, if somebody gives an answer fast and you don't understand, it's your responsibility to ask. You lose nothing for asking. And if you sit down and they keep going, then you say that you are lost, then you'll be lost because you are not asking. It's for you as well. And shyness, don't say that, oh, I'll take my time and learn. You won't get time. This is your learning environment. So you participate or you ask. Okay, let's start it, Elsie.
Yeah, so it will be Z max is equal to 5x1 plus 4x2.
5x1 plus 4x2. I don't know why my writing well. Yeah, that is the objective function. Who doesn't understand that? Let's go to the first constraint. What would be the name of the first constraint? And how would you formulate that constraint? This is where you got to think. This is where you got to think. This is where you got to think. Yes, Bernard. What would be the name you give to the first constraint?
The labor constraint.
Okay. So you want to go first with the labor constraint. How will you formulate the labor constraint?
So that will be 24x1.
So hold on. I don't know why this thing keeps doing that. It's not writing anything well. Subject to. Okay. 24x1
plus 20x2.
Guys, those of you should all be writing it. 20x2.
Less or equal to. That's 600.
If you don't understand, yes. Now, why did he think that? Because it was evident in the question that there was a labor constraint. Okay, that is why, he had to know that there's something related to labor constraint. Now, the 24 is in the minutes that was given here. You are writing labor. The next sentence was about beans and then rice and then, but when it comes to the next one, that's all for Wache. When it comes to the Gobe, spoke about 20 units of labor. So when you look at the labor portion, there is minute attached to it, and that creates a labor constraint. That is how we are able to know the labor constraint. Any question? Yasin.
Please, I'm trying to figure out how he got the 600 because I'm seeing Hajia has 10 hours of labor available each day. So I want to know how he got 600.
It's a very laudable question. It's a very smart question. Can you show her how you got the 600?
Okay, so it says that Ajia has 10 hours of labor. So since on the left-hand side, we are using minutes. Then on the right-hand side, we need to convert the 10 hours also to minutes. So you can do it the other way around where you convert the minutes to hours on the left-hand side, and then you can stick to the 10 hours on the right-hand side. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. So a person may learn how to do the formulation, but will forget that certain centimeters may be changed to meters and things like that. That some minutes should be changed to hours and things like that. So you always open your eyes and you always check. 10 hours means 10 times 60. That is 600 minutes. Okay, because each hour is 60 minutes. Yes, Ajuman. How many?
Oh, so no, I was thinking you were going to the next constraint. That's why I raised my hand.
All right, so that is how you formulate the labor constraint. The next constraint is what constraint and how do you formulate that constraint? Yes, Elsie.
Yeah, so I would say that it's a beans constraint. That is 2x1 plus 4x2 less than or equal to 120.
Those who are reading behind the scenes, I beg you to stop reading behind the scenes so you don't interrupt us. Rahinda and Co. Rahina, we don't want to hear your voice until you are called. So please mute yourself so that we don't get. Okay, so now if you look at this is beans constraint. Okay, and we got to know first time about beans when he was talking about labor. We saw the first one was 2 spoons of beans when we're preparing the wache. And then when we're preparing the gobe. Gobe 2, we have 4 spoons of beans. That is here. And then we're told that the total number of beans was 120. Okay. And so you pick that 120, and then you can now formulate the beans constraint. Who is not clear? They are scattered, but you know the resources being used. So normally it's good to always go to the end first. Haja has 10 hours of labor available, 120 spoons of beans available, 8 spoons of rice available. Okay, 80 spoons. So and then 60 spoons of gari. So you know that the constraints are going to be labor hours, beans, rice, and then gari. You know. That's the first knowledge you have. Yes, Kwesi, what's your question?
Prof, please, when you are writing in an exam situation, when you are stating the constraint, when you write the ST, must you indicate the various constraints against it? So, like, for
Yes,
instance,
you
if
can
you are
write them.
doing the constraint for beans, you do beans, maybe then you
So you
imply
write
to,
it at the
you
end,
can just state it
after the
as this.
600.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's not compulsory.
Okay, thank you.
All right, who can give us the next constraint? Mention the constraint, tell us what it is. Yasin.
See, the next constraint is rice, and then it is formulated as 4x1 less than or equal to 80.
Very good. You don't understand? Yes. There was nothing related to beans there. Goblet. No, nothing. Because this was rice, and rice only goes with the Wache family. Christina.
Yes, sir. Sir, so for the rice constraints, if you write it as 4x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 80, would you be wrong?
Very wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The next constraint is not rice constraint. What constraint is that, and how do you formulate that? Someone.
Yes, sir. So mine is also a question. For the rice constraint, if you write 4x1 plus 0x2 less than or equal to 80, will you be wrong?
Oh, no, you don't need to write 0. You don't need to write 0. We never write 0 in linear programming formulation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me see those who are going to help us formulate the next constraint. Thelma.
Okay, so for the next constraint, you have 3x1 plus 60x2 less than or equal to, why can't I see?
I think you should think about it before you raise your hand. Because now
Okay.
you are thinking whilst you are talking, which is wrong.
Oh, my eyes missed. Okay,
Oh, you
sorry.
should write it down. That's why I've shown you this screen since the beginning. So you should be
Okay.
writing it down on your paper, but not just reading the thing to me as if, you want to learn from here. No. Okay. Yeah. So you got to
Okay.
write it down. That is when you know that you are right or you are not. Let's go to another person who can give us how to formulate. Yes, Tahiru.
Yes, sir. So 3x2 less than or equal to 60.
Very good. So you get 3x to less than or equal to 60. What constraint is that?
That's the Gary constraint.
Exactly. And we all know that the Gary, we were told that is 60 spoons of Gary. Got to know that. 60 spoons. So because of that, you know that the right-hand side is going to be 60. We know because we were told that it's all part of the available. So you just have to find what is on the left-hand side. And you can see that was very, very explicit. Okay, 3 spoons of garri. And this was all for gobe. The gobe is X2. So that's why you got it. Who can tell us the next constraint? Yes, Philippa.
Yes, sir. So I think the next constraint will be 4x2 plus 3x2 less than or equal to 25, which is the number of plates.
That is the formulation she just gave. And I can tell you this is purely wrong. I need to just write it for her to see what she has said. Okay. But this is wrong. Who can give us a proper one?
From
All right, Bernard.
So x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 25.
That's it. Is x1 plus x2 oh, no, that's wrong.
Yes.
That is still wrong. Who can give us the final GC constraint, Deborah?
So Doc, x1 is less than 25, x2 is less than 25. Less than or equal to 25, sorry. So x1 is less than or equal to 25. X2 is less than or equal to 25.
Still wrong.
Sir, please, we can't see the question.
Stuck in the screens. Hold on. Let me reshare. Is that a question? It looks like, yeah, I think we are back now. Apparently, I deleted this, but you all follow. It's only one last constraint that is left. Who can tell us that very last constraint? I mean, you are telling us not because others got it wrong, not because they got it wrong, but you had that all along. That is what it means. But if you are learning from others, it doesn't make it so smooth. Cornelia.
Thank you, sir. X2 is less or equal to 25.
Yes, I'm sure you are writing your notes. So the final constraint to be x2 less than or equal to 25. That's the final answer. And how did you get it? You got that directly from here. This is a mixed constraint. You know it's x2 because he was talking about government. That's how we know it's x2. But we also know that it's less than or equal to because it does not sell above. Not above is the opposite of above. Above is greater than. Not above is less or equal to. All right, so that is how it's supposed to be in that regard. Now, yeah, who is not clear? Who's not clear? Who's not clear with something? We are mastering the ingredients of formulating alchemists. My next step, we are going to formulate and this time solve in Excel. How about that?
Thank you, Doc. Please, quick one on the minute. Can you say S1 less or equal to 20 and S2 less or equal to 20 for
which one?
The minute. The Gobe requires 20 minutes.
Gobe requires 20 minutes.
Yes, of labor. So that can that also be a constraint?
But that labor one was 20, 24, and then 20.
Oh.
It wasn't only one. It was for two things, and we formulated that one first. Look at it here. We had it as 24 here. And then we also, it says Wacha requires, Wacha 2 needed labor time. It's not only Gobe. Okay. See here, Wacha needed labor time. Okay? And Gobe also needed labor time. We've done that one already. And we had 24x1 plus 20x2, no, less than or equal to 600. Somebody said that long ago. So which other 20 are you talking about? Razak?
Sorry, sir. It was an old hand.
Please
Sir.
lower your hands, lower your hands, guys. Lower your hands because I am typing and I'm moving to so many things and talking. So if you are simply just raising your hand and you can't lower it, that means that you've not learned the courtesy of Zoom work. Armstrong.
Doc, please, can you send your screen down for us to see the constraints that was written by you?
The constraint, I've cleaned it. I wrote it in Mark.
Okay.
And I was expecting that you were writing as I was writing. That's the essence of this course.
Okay, Doc. Thank you.
All right. So that's it. That's how you execute all of this constraint. Let's go to a different scenario. This time, we'll formulate, then we'll show it in Excel.
Doc, please, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please, when you say mixed constraints, you've mentioned it like twice. What does it mean?
It means it's not talking about any resource. It's talking about the quantity, the decision variables. You are putting a limitation on the decision variable, not because of some resources. Okay. So it's not based on resources. It's based on a limitation or an overconsumption of the decision variable.
So, for example, this one that they said she cannot sell above 25 plates. So, we are saying the constraint is the limitation on the actual plates she can sell, which is a decision variable, if I understand correct.
Yeah, that is a mixed constraint.
Okay, thank you very much.
That is a mixed constraint. Yes, Pastor Chris.
Sir, please, I want to find out that of the constraints of Gary. Why is it that it's 3x2 but not 3x1?
Because Gary is used for Gobe.
Oh, okay.
I know in your watcher you use Gary.
Yes, please.
I watch it in the question in order not to get confused. It says that 2 spoons of beans and 4 spoons of rice, okay, while each plate of Gobe, watch the word, each plate of Gobe, okay, requires 20 labor, 4 spoons of beans, and 3 spoons of Gary. So you can see that whilst the watcher was being mentioned, there was no mention of Gary. Check it. In the case of Wache, there was labor mentioned. Let me use a different color. Labor was mentioned here. Beans was mentioned there.
Okay.
And rice was mentioned, okay, for Wache. But when it came to Gobe, which is this one here, for Gobe, labor was mentioned, all right. Beans was also mentioned, just as beans was mentioned for Wache. But it wasn't rice that was mentioned, it was Gary.
Okay.
So even though in your Wache you might put Gary in it, for this one, Gary was for only Gobe. And Gobe is X2. That's why we say that it's supposed to be boiled.
Thank you, Doc.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that you are clear about how to formulate this, especially with a mixed constraint. Mixed constraint can be quite overwhelming when you don't really understand it. So it's critically important that you are always dancing to the music of that mixed constraint. Okay. What I want to now do is I want to take quite a difficult question, which is also a past question, and then we'll look at it. This is 2023 exam question. Just when we're coming out of the COVID-19. I think I've also posted that question on your screen for you, but if you have it, if you don't have it, let me know. This is the question on your screen. Please, do you all see the question?
Yes, Doc.
Okay.
Yes, please.
The production manager of ICA Limited produces assorted alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks in reevaluating the current daily production plan. Now, here are things. When you have your question, you should always underline some key things with your pen. The production plan for 4 of these products. So straight away, you get an example situation, 4 of these products. The products are Opele beer, Apostle beer, light beer, and gentle beer. To produce a bottle of Opele beer, it will require 0.1 liters of ethanol, 0.08 liters of purified water, 0.5 grams of sugar, 0.05 liters of flavor wine. To produce only Opele beer. Those are the things you need. To produce a bottle of Apostle beer, and watch the ordering, because the ordering might not always follow the way you want. Okay. The first one was ethanol. So you come, Apostle beer, you have 0.12 liters of ethanol, 0.12 liters of purified water. It follows that same. 0.6 grams of sugar in that order, and 0.03 liters of flavor 2. The order is fine. Likewise, a bottle of light beer will require 0.08 liters of ethanol, 0.25 liters of purified water, no sugar, and 0.08 liters of flavor free. Similarly, a bottle of gentle beer will require 0.05 liters of ethanol, 8 liters of purified water, 1 gram of sugar, 0.08 liters of flavor. I hope you are feeling the rhythm. Now, the company's contracts with the suppliers is such that it's able to secure no more than 5,000 liters of ethanol, 5,000 liters of water, 7 kilograms of sugar per day. Now, watch that word, 7 kilograms of sugar per day. What does this 7 kilograms tell you? Quickly, can somebody crack the code? What does that tell you?
But I think we need to change into grams.
Convert to grams.
Good. Or you bring the others from grams to kilograms. That's where the smart part comes in. But of course, since these ones are in thousands, you will go to put it in that parameter. Likewise, the company can source 600, 1,005, 1,000, and 1,500 liters of flavor 1, 2, 3, and 4, respectively. In addition, the 4 beer products use the same bottle shape. It must be kept first in an inventory with a maximum capacity. I don't know whether Yasin was the one who asked question on mixed constraint. With a maximum capacity of 30,000 bottles. A bottle of Opele, Apostle Light, and Gentle beer respectively yields profit of 0.18, 0.20, 0.18, and 0.2. Those are the profits. Currently, the production manager believes the optimal production plan is to produce 8,000, 3,800, 12,720 of Opele, Apostle Light, Gentle beer respectively. Whatever the recommendation production is, it must respect the company's binding contract of supplying a very important customer of at least 2,000 bottles of Apostle beer. You see, the thing about linear programming here for you is that you must not always expect that it's all going to be smooth. There will be some 1 or 2 or 3 chipping that will require you to connect some constraints. It only requires extra thinking, that's all, nothing else. The rest will follow the same pattern of rhythmic movement. Develop a linear programming model to help the production manager optimize the production plan of the 4th year for maximum daily profit. I will not go to the second part of the thing was solved here, because for this assignment, you will solve it yourself. And so we're going to formulate it now. Of course, you know that if you formulate it wrongly, you will get a solution that is also wrong. So let's start. As for this, I will ask you of the decision variable. So we're going to start with that. Yes, Elizabeth.
Let x1 equal number of Opele beads produced, x2 equal number of Apostle beads produced, x3 equal number of light beads produced, x4 equal number of gentle beads produced.
Excellent. There's no doubt about it. You already asked of that, but it's important to know. So let's start with the objective function. Who can tell us the objective function? Who can tell us the objective? The rest of you write it. Don't.
So, please, before that, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The decision variable, I wanted to know if we should add, like, maybe let x1 be the number of bottles of Opele to produce, because, like, you always mention that we should try and be specific with the unit of measurement. So I wanted to come.
Yeah, if the lady who spoke didn't add that, I would have deducted 50% from the mark she would have gotten.
Well noted.
It was because this was not really part of the question. I didn't even pay attention to that. But you are very right. It has to be number of bottles of. Very good. Now let's go to the substantive matter. Ishmael, Sako.
Yes, sir. Sir, with the objective function, so we'll have our Z max to be 0.18x1
Hold on.
plus 0.
So the others will follow.
Yes, sir.
So Z max
equal to 0.18x1 plus 0.20x2 plus 0.18x3 plus 0.20x4.
So this is it. Who is not clear? And these things were right from the beginning, they were made explicit. It is towards, remember, these are profits. So you pick them from the profit section here. These are the per unit profit. Abu Bakar, your hand is taller. Right.
Oh, I was going to answer the decision variable, but he has already answered. So.
Lower your hands then. So this is the objective function. Now imagine somebody gets objective function wrong, he's out. Was he?
Prof, please, are you supposed to bring the currency of the dollar sign, or it's fine?
No, you don't have to.
Okay, thank you.
Now you go to the constraints. If you take a time and understand the entire story like this, like we've understood, you'll be able to know. Let's go to the first constraint. What is the name of the constraint? How would you formulate the constraint? Abaka.
Look, I will start with the eternal.
Eternal constraint. Let's go.
So Opele is 0.10x1, Apostle 0.12. Come again?
Repeat what you said. I didn't hear you.
I said Opele 0.x1, 0, 0.10x1, 0.12x2, 0.0.
I'm not mentioning plus or minus, and then you are just going. So I'm not confused exactly what you're saying.
Look, plus. Please, maybe my network is scratching.
You want me to write the plus for you without you saying?
0.10x1 plus 0.12x2 plus 0.08 S3 plus 0.05 S4 less or equal to 5,000 liters.
Yeah, the numbers. All right, so you get 0.08.
0.80, yes.
I got 0.05. 0.5 X4. And he said it's less than or equal to 5,000.
5,000 liters, yes.
Okay. So this is how you formulate the second constraint. Anybody who is not clear?
Okay, okay.
Let's go to the next constraint. Who can tell us the name of the constraint and how you formulate that constraint? Let's see.
Check.
Let's see.
Prof, please, sorry, I was asking that you move your screen a bit so I can see the constraint you did for the ethanol, but you just did. Thank you.
Okay. Elizabeth, continue.
Purified water.
Purified water. Let's go.
0.08 x1 plus 0.12 x2 plus 0.25 x3 plus 0.24 0.2 x4 less or equal to 5,000.
Okay. 0.12, 0.25, and then 0.2 x4.
X4 less or equal to 5,000.
Yeah, less or equal to 5. If you don't understand, you ask. So you know the name of the constraint by virtue of the right-hand side, always. Like we said, ethanol, because of the right-hand side. We said purified water, because of the right-hand side. Okay, let's go to the next constraint. Now I'll be writing these things down because I'll be cleaning them. Okay, who can walk us through the next constraint? Let me use this. Let me give it to Augustine.
Yes, sir. So with the sugar constraint, 0.5 x1 plus 0.03 x2. Hello, sir.
That is a wrong start for the sugar constraint. Elizabeth Gordon.
Say 0.5 x1.
Hey, hold on. Are you all mentioning that 0.5x? What is that?
So 0.5 grams of sugar.
And the second paragraph.
The second paragraph.
Hold on. Hold on. Yes. Sure. What is the next one? This one.
0.6.
And then the next one.
No sugar. There is no sugar.
No sugar. So that one was plus.
And X4 has sugar.
Hold on. For this very specific question, you were given a There was a typo in the question. But that's okay. If that doesn't, remind me, maybe it's a typo. Remind me that in the programming, 0.5, it may have changed, but just let me know. The rest are all fine, but it's this particular one. So let's write it again. I mean, according to that principle. So you have 0.5 x1 plus 0.6 x2. You leave the x3 because there's nothing on x3. Then you have 1 x4 or simply x4.
That's
Let's
equal
go to
7,000.
7. And that's good because you've changed the 7 kilogram to grams. Okay, who is not clear with anything here? Who's not clear?
Exactly, so I was on track, right?
Oh, is that a different person?
It's Augustina, it's Tina. When I started the sugar constraint, he said I was wrong, so
You mentioned
I was a bit confused. 0.5 x1.
Sorry.
Yes,
But
please.
you
Yes.
said 0.03 instead of the 0.06. That was for the X2.
Did you say that, Augustina?
Hello, sir.
Did you say 0.03 for the X2?
I prepared a table here, so probably when I was copying, I made a mistake, but I've seen that it's 0.6, the next one.
All right. So at least you also recognize the error, so that's fine. So the next constraint, what is the name of that constraint? Who can guess the name of that constraint?
Hello, Prof.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Christy. My hand was up. Please, a quick one. When we look at the unit of the sugar, they are all in grams, and then the 7 kilograms had to be converted. So in the event that let's say we are dealing with kilometer and a different unit, let's say kilometers and meters, and you are not really sure of how you do the conversion,
You are
does
dead.
that mean that
You are dead.
you are done?
You are dead.
Hey, assembling
What is
crazy.
assembling? Because there are some, of course, you will not pick the difficult ones where we are looking at ounces and those things. No. Okay. But as for centimeters to meters to kilometers, you should know. That's millimeter goes to centimeters, centimeters goes to meters, meters goes to kilometers. So those ones you should know. They are fairly simple. Yeah, you should. So
This is serious.
What is serious?
Prof, so if it means that the moment you are not able to, if
But
I
it's
don't
just
know
a
that,
matter of multiplying each one of them by 1,000. So what's the problem?
if there's a way of doing these things, maybe you can share or you can throw light on it about 2 minutes and we
You are a master's student. All you got to know is that the unit of measurement from centimeters or millimeters to kilometers, tell me. ChatGPT can tell you.
Prof, in the
is distances. Just say that you want, chat to tell you the available distances. No, you learn it. That's all. There's no, trick. The difficult ones are not brought. It's the easiest ones ever. Yes, Abu Akar. If you don't have a question, lay all your hands.
Yes, I wanted to let him know that probably we'll check the questions. Sometimes they will say grams and kilograms, so that should even give you ideas that 1 gram is equal, converting gram to kilogram to gram is just 1,000. So just note, you can see that it can give a clue there to the conversion.
It doesn't work.
I was just going to ask you, if I don't show working for the conversion and I just put answer
You don't need
straightforward,
to
am I
show.
wrong?
There's no problem with that.
All right. Okay.
Please, do they provide a formula book?
for, give me an example of that formula book. Once you've mentioned formula book, you know what it is. So give me an example of what you mean.
Maybe a four-figure table for messages.
Okay. So the next constraint, you can tell us and then how you formulate it. And be writing these things down. Let me go to Grace Jame.
So the next constraint will be flavor
No,
constraint. And it will be 0.05.
for the flavor.
Flavor.
It's not, sometimes it's not the best to go too automatic. There is something that we got to deal with before the flavor. The colleague seems to know. Martha.
Sir, please, flavor 1.
No, not that one. Ishmael.
Is the bottle inventory.
That's it. You need to deal with the inventory. There's a flavor. We know they have quite a number of them. So the inventory constraint. Inventory constraint. And because you got to be able to deduce that excellently. So tell us the inventory constraint.
Okay, so with the inventory constraint, we'll have x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 or less than or equal to 30,000.
Excellent. That's it. 30,000. That is how you have your inventory constraints.
Doug.
Yeah.
Doug, please, I did mine. I named it capacity. Am I wrong?
It's the same thing. It's okay. It's the same thing. It's okay. So now after this, we can go to our flavor constraints. So let's deal with the first one. Who can tell us the first flavor constraint? Flavor 1. Water.
So, please, I was going to ask question about the sugar, how he got the 4x from he started from 0.5 x1 plus 0.6 x2 plus then I saw x4 is
Yes,
less or
there's
greater than
no
7.
sugar for the third one.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So flavor 1. Elsie, tell us flavor 1.
The flavor 1 would be 0.05 x1 less than or equal to 600.
Continue. Tell us flavor 2.
Or equal to 1,500.
Sorry, I missed you. I missed you for that because I think my network.
0.03 x2 less than or equal to 1,005.
So that is flavor 2. Flavor 3.
0.08 x3 less than or equal to 1,000.
Flavor 4.
And then flavor 4, 0.08 x4 less than or equal to 1,005.
What other constraint is left? Deborah. Lower your
Sir,
hand.
please, the second flavor 2 constraint, please where from the 0.03? I'm a bit lost there.
It's flavor 2.
Okay.
Okay, 0.03 liters of flavor too. Okay. Thank you.
Tell us the next constraint. Isaac.
The last constraint is
Yeah, the ones neighbors.
the binding contract of supplying. You've written in it, so I can't see it. At least 2,000 bottles of
with you, right?
apple beer.
You all have the question with you, don't you? Let me give it to another person. John Armstrong.
Doc, there's a question. I want to know that isn't necessarily has to be in line in order when formulating the constraints.
Is best.
Okay, thank you.
Michael Akolache.
Yeah, so is x to
The
less than or greater than 2,000?
less than or greater than. What is that?
So x2 is greater than or equal to 2,000.
2,000, yeah.
Exactly.
And people are so confused all of a sudden. X2 is greater than
or equal to 2,000.
So that is the last constraint, and of course, your non-negativity constraint. But there's something about the non-negativity constraint you got to do. Who can tell me? If you look at all these, what are we discussing? And what is it about the non-negativity you got to remember and do?
The binding.
No. There's something about
I think it should be an integer, because in this case, you can, yeah.
So the thing about the non-negativity constraint, and again, not many people remember, but you have to remember, is that the variables that you are producing are supposed to be integers, because you're talking about beer. Okay? You're talking about bottles of beer. You can't have half a bottle, a quarter bottle, and those things of beer. So these are integers. So after writing x1, x2, x3, comma, then you do and integer. And integer. Yes, Isaac.
Yeah, Doc. So won't you consider the optimal production plan as also a constraint? Like currently the production manager believes the optimal production plan is to produce that. As also a constraint that you need to consider in the formulation.
We haven't considered that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for this very question, what is so beautiful is that it's not all the constraints that will come in the formulation, but we'll still add this one. The manager believes that the optimal production plan is to produce 8,000, 3,800, blah, 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 of respectively. Those are the things to produce. Yes, Bernard, you have a question?
So please, is that a constraint? Because that's his view. I don't see that to be a constraint. So our solution here is going to determine whether his view is correct or not.
Sorry, Bernard, you are saying something.
Yeah, so I was saying that I don't think that's a constraint. He
It
believes
is not
that.
a constraint. That's what I'm coming to tell you.
Yeah. So our solution will determine whether his figures are accurate or not.
Our solution will determine the optimality of this, in light of this. So what's the name of the guy who was? We'll check whether when we get our coefficient and we'll multiply the coefficient of this for each of them, we'll be able to match up this optimal production plans. So just so you know, the optimal production plans are not part of the constraint. Quasi?
Prof, please, sorry to take us back. Can you, the last constraint in the purple, is it X2 is X2? Can you please explain how you got that?
Talk about everything. You say, is it X2 what? Finish it.
Greater than or equal to 2000.
You should have finished that. Yes, it is X2 greater than or equal to 2000.
Please, can you explain this?
So you are told in the question towards the end that it is somewhere here, towards the end here. It says that whatever the recommendation production is, it must respect the company's binding contract of supplying a very important customer of at least 2,000 bottles of Apostle beer. So what he's trying to say is that no matter what, Apostle beer, somebody wants it a lot. And so you cannot supply less than 2,000. The person needs it a lot. And you got to respect that construct. It was only for that. And therefore, watch the word at least. At least is greater or equal to.
Yes.
And Apostle beer is the second beer, and which is X2. So this is a typical mixed constraint that was formulated for Apostle beer.
Okay. Thank you.
So guys, let me tell you something. You should always be reading and reread and read and reread to be able to catch up. Yes, Elizabeth.
Sir, please, I don't understand why we brought an integer. Can you please?
Because an integer is a positive whole number in linear programming parlance. It's positive. And why? Because you got to check the items you are producing to be sure that they are not decimals. Do you think that a bottle of beer, you can have 0.16 bottles of beer?
No, sir.
Because you cannot have fractions, because you cannot have decimals, you got to remember to incorporate an integer principle. In other words, you got to include that the optimal solution should be integers.
So if you bring the integer, it's telling you that you cannot have decimal bottles and all that. Yes,
if you bring it.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean that the solution you're going to get, your solution or your formulation, you can choose to. Your formulation in Excel, you can choose to. You can choose to not bring an integer to it, but the proper formulation here requires that you have integer for it.
So, thank you.
Daniel.
So that means the previous two questions, we should have added an integer to them.
Yes, we should have.
Okay.
That wasn't
because one was a number of plates and the other one was the number of boxes.
That is why I'm saying that if you remember to bring an integer to this. Some people who don't respect Zoom information. And now, can I make you a co-host?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, please.
To do before your reply. I'm just making some of you co-hosts so that I can mute others from me. Because I have a lot of things cooking. If that one is a difficult task, then you tell me I remove you. What is this Enyanam? Enyanam, what's the question?
So when I look at the Excel server, the table and the question, I just want to ask, is there a reason?
Don't you look at that.
Yes.
Because Excel solver is not deliberately designed to pick up everything that has been formulated. We haven't gotten to the Excel solver when you're already talking about Excel solver. When you look at the Excel solver, okay, it has not been deliberately designed to capture everything that was inside the question. No, it was not. So you see, I'm not showing Excel solver here, but you have gone there. You see the word partial. What does that mean? Partial. What does partial report mean? Can somebody tell her? She's kept quiet all of a sudden.
Please, partial report means that it's not the full report.
So why will you go down to this? In the first place, this question is not a question where you will not have Excel report. So don't look at the Excel report. We are going to do this thing ourselves. Because the one you are going to do, the assignment you are going to do, you are going to formulate all of this inside Excel yourself. So stop looking at the Excel. That's what I'm about to do with you. Okay. So now we are going to go to the formulation. Of course, whilst we go into the Excel formulation, some of you you may not be able to follow because we'll be toggling between this picture and this picture will cover. So I'm going to delete everything. And off they all go. And now I'll be bringing you, let me show you the Excel itself. And in order not to worry or confuse you so much, I'm just going to find a way to bring the solution here, okay, just so that you're not too lost. I have the solution. I have the solution formulated here, so that at least you use this my solution. I'm just trying to cut my solution, or take a picture of my solution, paste it into the Excel, so that you can all follow me whilst I do it in Excel. So you are watching the Excel screen. Do you see the solution I've posted here?
Yes, sir.
So this is the solution I have posted here. So we are going to be watching this thing whilst we formulate it on the left side, okay? So we're going to start. Take your Excel and do this, because you will do this. So it's important that you are with me whilst we all do this together. You will do something like this, never ever this, but something like this. So you just have to follow me. So the first thing you're going to do is to write your X's, okay, the names of the decision variables. So let's call them X's, DV. But normally you bring the name of the company. I don't know what the name of the company is, but
IC Limited.
IC Limited.
IC. So let's just write IC. Okay, you write IC, and then you write below that. No, on the right you write the decision variables, X1, X2. Let me show you something. In Excel, the moment you write X1 and X2, you can highlight the 2 and just drag it for the others. Okay, for the X3 and X4. That's all we have. And on the far end, you have Z, so put a Z there. Then below, you will have the DV for the decision variables. And in this case, the decision variables are 0. So you just write 1, 0 and drag it. Move faster with me, because this part are easy. No Excel. If you are not formulating whilst I'm formulating, you will be stampeded, during the real life situation. So this is the skill. The skill is that The name of the company always comes first. Then the labeling of the decision variables are always at the top. Then below, you have the actual initialized values of the decision variables, which are 0, 0, 0. Then below that, you write a coefficient, okay, COEFF. And then you will list the name of the coefficient. If you look here, the first one is 0.18. Then you go to the next one. But let me move this one here so that you can see this one. There you go. So the next one is what? 0.2. So you write it there. The next one is 0.18. You write it there. The next one is 0.2. Write it there.
0.08, not 0.18.
What I have here is 0.18. Or is 0.08 in all of yours?
0.18 is correct.
No, Doc, 0.18 is correct.
She's probably not looking at the one I have here. So please look at the one I have. Then after that, you bring the word constraints. Type constraints. Okay. And then under the constraints, you're going to type the names of the constraints. And here, interestingly, we have the name, so you can just use the same name. Ethanol. Okay, so you type ethanol. The next constraint is purified water. You can call it pure water. Next one is sugar. You can call it sugar. Next one is inventory. You can call it inventory. Next one is flavor 1. You can call it F1. Flavor 2, F2. Flavor 3, F3. Flavor 4, F4. And then the last one, there was a name actually for it. Is it capacity or, let me see.
Binding contract.
No, it's not
Binding in capacity.
Contract. Okay. So it's a contract. So you can call it contract constraint. Just say contract. So if you have the skill of programming, this things is not difficult. Okay. Then at this section, you will write left-hand side. Okay. Left-hand side. That should be on the same column as the Z. Then you write a sign, and then you write the right-hand side. Now, some people would like to write the left-hand side to be usage, and then the right-hand side to be available. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But these are easy ones. Okay. All right. Then you put your numbers for each one of them. Okay. Watch the ethanol. The first number is 0.1 in front of the X1. So type 0.1. The second number is 0.12. Type 0.12. 0.08. Type 0.08. And the last one is 0.05. Type 0.05. You are done. You go to the purified water. Purified water, the first one is what? 0.8. So type 0.8 for the X1. The second is 0.12. 0.12 is already at the top, so you can just drag it and put it down. The next one is 0.25. So type 0.25.
0.08. Purify water 0.08. The first one.
First one is 0.08. And then the last one is 0.2. 0.2. You go to sugar. Sugar, the first one is 0.8. The next one is 0.6. Third one is 0, so you jump out. And the last one is 1, so you write 1. Then inventory. The first one is 1. And then since all of them are 1, you can drag it to all of them. Then you go to flavor 1. Flavor 1 is for X1. So you got to be under X1 and type 0.05. Okay. Flavor 2 is under X2. So you type 0.03. Your eye must be looking at the formulation that you did. Your eye should be looking at the formulation. Your eye should be looking at it. The next one is flavor 3. Flavor 3 is under X3. So you write 0.08, but make sure it's under S3 column. Flavor 4 is under S4. That one is also 0.08. Yes, Deborah.
Sir, please, the sugar constraint. From the question is 0.5 grams of sugar for the opele. So I'm wondering where we got the 0.8.
Exactly. So this was the one that I told you guys that it is 0.5, but when we come to the formulation, we make it. We are going to stay with the 0.5 because that was exactly what we had in the question. So please, all of you should go back and use the 0.05 for that particular one. Okay, so we are left with a contract. And the contract is for X2, and there's a number 1 in front of the X2. Deborah, lower your hand. And so you type 1. There. As for the non-negativity and integer, we'll leave it like this. Now, for your example, if you formulate it as non-negativity without the integer, you should do the same thing in Excel. Okay. If you don't formulate it like that, don't bother to do the same thing with Excel. Okay. If you do the same thing like that, you formulate it. But please note, we are going to institute the non-negativity because, again, we brought the integer. So we're going to institute the integer right there. Okay. So we are done here now. We are left. Yeah, go ahead.
How about the capacity?
Which capacity?
The one x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 less or equal to 30,000.
That's the same as the inventory. You can't join
inventory.
this account.
Where's the inventory? Okay. So now we are done with this. We are going to fill a formula for this and also fill the same formula for this side. But we'll have to apply the signs and then the right-hand side. Let's start with the right-hand side. The first right-hand side is 5,000. And it's the same thing for the second one. So you drag it down. The third right-hand side is 7,000. So you write 7,000. You have 30,000. So you write 30,000. The next is 600. So you write 600. The next is 1,005. You write 1,005. The next is 1,000. You write 1,000. The next is 1,005. You write 1,005. And the final one is 2,000. You write 2,000. Now, the signs should be done as well, because if you don't do the sign, you confuse you. So you bring a dot in each one of them. I mean, the first ones, only the equal to, you bring the dot actually. So the first one is less than or equal to. So you press your key, less than, and then equal to. The next one is also less than or equal to. The third one is also less than or equal to. The fourth one is also less than or equal to. The fifth one is less than or equal to. The sixth one is less than or equal to. The seventh is less than or equal to. The eighth is less than or equal to. It is only the 9 that is greater or equal to. So you can drag all of them and then keep it like that. And then the 9th one, type greater than, and then you add equal to. You are formulating. It's a skill. Watch it. Your eye must be looking at this all the time. Your eye must be looking at this all the time. If your eye goes to look somewhere and start thinking differently, it means that what you formulated was wrong in the first place. Okay, so now we are ready to enter the formula. So watch here carefully. What this thing is saying is that we look at the Z max here. It says that take the coefficient, multiply by the x1. Take the next coefficient, multiply by the next x2, and then on and on. See?
Prof, please, sorry for intercepting. Can you kindly throw more light, can you retouch on the signs column, the cells there? Can you touch on that, please?
Touch on that. You have it here. I'm just rewriting this. Science is just for beautification. They are all less than or equal to, up to here. It's only the last one that is greater than. And I also have the last one that is greater than. Everything else is less than or equal to.
But Prof, please, if you were not copying it from here, how would you get it?
If you were not what?
From your how do you call it? The symbol, like the symbol less than.
It's on your keyboard. You type it.
So I should type less than.
Look for the symbol.
Shift plus the less than, then you add the equals to sign. That's it. Press the shift and the less than sign, then add the equals to sign. Doc, please, can you proceed?
Okay. I get it. Okay, thank you. Charlie, my giant shit.
You realize that some people have left there.
It's their network, they'll be back.
Why? Are you in their homes?
So it can happen to us.
No, sir, we are facing the same challenge, yes. That's why.
Yes.
Well, the network shouldn't have been doing that from the beginning. From the beginning, it's all been fine. Then all of a sudden,
No, sir, because we are using our laptop for the Excel, we are joining with our phones. That's why we are leaving, but we will join back.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm not here. Less than or equal to my master. Do you get it now? Can we proceed?
Yes, please, Prof. I don't need that many more pressure. But that's it.
All right. So after this, you now put in the formula here. You type equal to symbol, and then we are going to use a sum product because we are going to product here means times. You're going to multiply the 0 by the 8.18, the 0 by the 0.2. And the best way to do that multiplication is use the sum product. So you type sum pro bring the sign. Now watch it. When you see the sign, it has array 1 and array 2. It has array 1, array 2, array 3, and all of that. So for array 1, you will highlight all the coefficients from 0.18 all the way up to 0.2. Then you bring a comma. A comma didn't show, so I'm picking the comma again. That's it.
Please take it again.
Take what again? Which one do I take again? Is it
Please.
Everything I did is on the screen. Everything I did is in front of you. So take it again.
Yes.
Take the difference.
Prof, yes, sir. I would say yes, sir.
Okay.
What's the name for what?
So please,
Richard, everything, I take it again.
Please.
No, I don't see why I should take it again because I've told you there is equal to, then you type sum product. You've not even typed the sum for the product to show for you to select. You say I should take it again because your mind is more about not looking at what I've done, but me starting again is the only way you can picture the thing. So you have to type equal to. Then you have to type S, you have to type U, you have to type M. The rest will show just as mine is shown here. And then you can now pick the 0.818 and drag it to the 0.2. Now you got to also remember that there are some people who have not started when we started. And so some people are joining afresh and all of that. So they will drag the rest if you don't if you say you want everybody to follow, because some people are simply not even following. They are driving whilst they are watching. They are, so they will get home now, and after they've gotten home, they say that, okay, I just turned on my laptop, so start again. So just be careful that you can't please everybody. Majority of the people that are here, okay, 200 of you are following. 115 of you, if you don't follow, no problem. You can go over there recording. All right. So once you've selected this, then you select this second one, which is zeros. And after selecting the zeros, you press the F4 key, or you hold the Fn key down, and then press the F4 key. Okay.
No, please take that again.
Yeah, don't worry. So the second one, after you have done the sum product, please stop making noises because it doesn't help anybody. Mute yourself. So now what you do is you press your equal to symbol. You press your equal to symbol like this. You do your sum product. You double click it when it comes. And then you select the coefficients, all the coefficients from left to right. You bring a comma. Then you select all the zeros. After selecting all the zeros, you press your F4 key, like I just did. You will see that the dollar will come in front of the letters and behind the letters. After that, you click enter. And when you click enter, the thing itself will be zero there. But then when you click on it or double click on it, you will see that the formula is collected in there. As to why we bring the dollar in front of the letters for the decision variables, you all know. If you don't know, yes, Isaac.
Yeah, Doc, since it's multiplication, the array, can't you get the decision variable and it is multiplication? Can't you bring that one first, then the coefficient second?
Comes first.
I'm saying that when you sample that, when you input in the formula, then you are selecting the array 1, array 2. Now you took the coefficient as 1, and I'm asking, because it's multiplication, can't you also take the decision variable first, then you introduce your dollar sign, then the coefficient, comma, coefficient array?
Yes, yeah. Does that answer your question? Yes, Sebastian.
Yes, please. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I wanted to find out, are we absolutely referencing the variables or the coefficients?
The variables or coefficient, decision variables. Is that what you mean?
Yes, please. Yeah, the decision variables.
The decision variables, we are dollarizing the reference. That's why there's a dollar in front of them. So when we put the other ones, it will be picking the decision variables. The one that carries the dollar. It's not the one that comes first. It's the one that carries the dollar. All right. So click it. And then copy this zero. Then come and put it here. And then paste. The moment you double click, you see that it is copying the zeros. It's multiplying the zeros. You can now drag it to cover everything. 1 second. All right. So now we are done with the formulation, really. We are now ready to solve.
Hello, Doc.
Yeah.
Apologies. I don't know what I did wrong, but when I copied and pasted and I dragged, I got some numbers. coming?
No problem. Just go through the thing. Go to the first one here and just ensure that you have the same thing. Or do it. Do that part afresh. It's not a problem.
Okay, so let me just mention that. So when I copied and pasted, for example, in front of ethanol, I'm having 0. But if I drag, then P water, I'm having 0.1244. Sugar, I'm having 0.912.
It's possible that some of the items are not $1.
Sorry, your line is a bit bad.
Can somebody tell her what I said?
Okay, so like
Doug said maybe your numbers have not been dollarized.
Please check the function F4 key. You haven't frozen cell B2 to E2. So it is dragging down the formula along with it. So make sure the cursor is in front of B2 and then do the function and F4 key. That will freeze the cells, or as we say, dollarize it.
Okay, I see. Because if I put I won't drag the class, but I'll just follow from here. Thank you.
I think Doc may have dropped off, so maybe you can still talk about it.
Yes. So let me quickly mention if Doc has dropped off. So when in my formula, I have the equal to sum product into brackets B3 colon E3 comma $sign B2 colon $sign E2. That is how my formula is.
Please say it again. Please say the formula again.
So it's B3 colon E3 comma $sign B2 colon $sign E2.
Meaning you typed the dollar. You have to use the F.
I didn't type dollar. I
Oh,
pressed
no,
the F4.
No. Whether you type
If you
it
type
or
it, you
not,
won't get
whether you type it or not, it will still be the same. However,
Exactly.
it should be B5 to E5 and then B2 to E2. So whether you type it or use the F4.
Please calm down. Please calm down. Christina,
that is it.
you know something?
It should be $B, $2.
One person,
Please,
Dollar
one
B,
person.
dollar. Please, can I listen?
Can you
I'm
please calm
confused
down?
now.
Can one person
The whole thing is, Christina might probably miss a step. Okay, so why don't you do it this way? You start all over the process.
Okay.
Put your cursor on the F3.
Can you guys hear?
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
The problem for most students is that they want to get it right, so they don't want to start afresh. They don't want to start afresh. They want to continue from where they lost. So why don't you come to the beginning? I have been double clicking for you to see the formula. Why don't you start afresh? Just write this formula for the Z function properly. Just one. Write it well, and then you can copy that and come and paste it. Because you want to get this one right. You are forcing to, do all you can to do the dollarization. But then, why don't you start afresh? I say you type equal to, type sum product. And then you go through. You see, don't copy, but copy with a learning mentality. You are learning the thing so that next time you know how to do it. But if you are going, because next time I will not use B3, B4. I will just use a different B7, B18. But it's a principle you have, the knowledge you have behind it, that you can, it doesn't matter which cell the thing is. You understand the pathway. And so you are using the pathway to go. But if you want to use the formula, and next time the decision variables are not 4, but they are 8. And the one you have in the exams are not like that, they are 7. So you need to be able to know that, it doesn't matter what it is, once I follow the pattern. The path is that write your equal to, you start again. In fact, I remember when I made a typo, I had to start again myself. Okay. You write your equal to, you choose your sum product. After the sum product, it will tell you to put in an array. It will even write it below. Right now, it is writing it below. It says that pick the array 1. Array 1 means the
dot is here, $sign E, $sign 2. But I've done the thing, but still may enter.
Who is talking?
Oh, so
Like some of them want to get it right by all means. They don't want to go through the process again. Anyway, so once you get it done, you will be able to copy this one, copy it, come and paste it here. And after pasting here, you double click and just double click to be sure that it is collecting the zeros. That is why we dollarize them in the first place. After that, you enter and then click here and drag it here. And you always drag only when it is plus. If it's not plus, you don't drag at the bottom right. You drag it to the end, and that's it. Yes, Belinda.
Sir, please, I think earlier on someone asked whether in selecting the arrays, whether you can choose the decision variables first or the coefficients first. But I just want to know, it's just the decision variables that we dollarize, right? Sorry?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Now you go to the data tab at the top.
hello, Doc.
The data tab, yes.
Hello, Doc. Please, can you click on the 0 at the coffee? Can you double click for me? I want to cross check my own. I don't see the reason why.
See, the thing is, I think, Doc, after the class, you're gonna make the recording available, right? So after the class, you can go ahead, check the recording because Doc's own might be different from you because probably we have a function, we have the 1, 2, 3. I can start from the 2, and from what Doc is saying, B3, E3, yours two might be different, but you should make sure you all get the same formula. You get it? Because if this thing keeps happening, it means you're dragging the class backwards. Since Doc is going to make the video available after class, probably you can get time and cross-check this whole thing. Because I don't think, because coming back and forth on this thing is just delaying the time. My humble plea, please.
I told you that when you try to help the 100 people, you are sacrificing the 219 people. So don't get it right. Get a principle. Click on the data tab, go to the far right, click solver. Once you click solver, you will see the solver parameter dialog box here pop out. The first you see is set objective. Click on the Z value, which is a 0 here. Click on that. Just click that, it will collect itself into this. Mine is F3. If yours is in a different cell, that cell is what is going to be collected. But the key point is that you are collecting the Z formula. So you collect that. It's a maximization, which has already been ticked here. So you leave it as it is. The by changing cells is the decision variables. So inside the by changing cell, click and drag all the decision variables into the by changing cells. Mine, as you see, is from B2 all the way to E2. Then you click on the white space, which is subject to constraints. Once you click there, you see a diamond ring as it is. Then you choose add. The moment you choose add, move the cursor, move the constraint away from this section here, because you want this section to be showing and you want the sign to be there. Okay, so let's start with the first cell. Look at it, the first 7 cells, the first 7 constraints, all of them are less than or equal to. So you can click the left-hand side, and they are the left-hand side. The left-hand sides are those in the yellow, the left-hand side. Then you drag all of them on the left-hand side, all of them, but don't do the last one because the last one is greater than or equal to. And stop at the last but one. Then choose this arrow and then select the less than or equal to symbol. It's actually the default, so you leave it as it is. And then on the right-hand side, which is the constraints, come and click the right-hand side and drag to the last but one. And that's it. Once you finish that, don't OK. Just click add. It will vanish. A new empty cell reference will show on the left. The only one we didn't add was the last one, which is this very number. So just select the contract, the left-hand side. and then click on the symbol and choose greater than or equal to instead of the less than. And then on the right-hand side, click the white space and come and click the 2000. Because the 2000 is the only number which is on the right-hand side. You are done with the constraints. Now? Okay.
Hello, Prof.
Yeah.
I beg you not to take us back. Can you kindly take this bit again?
Is it to take it again so that you can do yours? Is that it? Is that it? Take it again.
Not per se, but I at a point I didn't understand how we arrived at the way you were going about the constraints. I just wanted to start from where you introduced the solver.
Oh really? When you introduce the solver, it's like you made me finish the objective function.
The video is there.
I've done it by changing cell. I've finished constraint. Then you say I should go to solver again. Yes, Abubakar.
Doc, let's help him small, maybe for one more time, please.
No, when I finish, then you can help him. Don't worry. When I finish, you are here. Then you can help him. Okay. Because he can play my video 1 million times and get it. If he doesn't get it even now, at least now he has some idea. So let's move on.
No, but Prof, since I'm not so far off, I would have appreciated this so I can follow better.
Kwesi. We are 9 o'clock here. Let's move on. Because I have to make sure that I've completed so that at least when you are learning, you have, because if I start teaching you, I will not complete. Then it will affect everybody.
Okay. Prof, please go on. Please go on.
So let me complete because you always have the completed one.
Yes, please.
Now, what you do is now you have it. Click the nonlinear make unconstrained variables non-negative. Okay. Yeah. But remember something here. I'll come back to that. Make unconstrained variables. Now, in the constraint section, you can add, actually, you could have added some variables. You see these variables. So let's go to the constraint. You can add this constraint, and then in this constraint, you can select the decision variables, all of these decision variables. Watch it. I just clicked the constraint and I selected all the decision variables. And then here, you choose this sign and you write integer, select integer, because we said that we want the decision variables to be integers. So I just highlighted all the decision variables and then I click the arrow and select int. Int means integer. And that's it. So do that one and add it to the constraint and click OK. So you can see that it has come first. You can see that this constraint, it has integer in it. Yes, Belinda.
So please, what does that mean? Is that for the non-negativity constraints?
No. That one means that you want all the decision variables to be whole numbers. You don't want decimals. You said it before.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
The non-negativity constraint is the one we're about to do. You click the solving method here. There's a solving method here. This solving method, once you click it, you click it and it will release the simplex algorithm. You see, this checkbox is a non-negativity, this checkbox. If you remove the checkbox, you are not forcing them to be non-negative. Once you bring the checkbox, you are forcing them to be non-negative, which is good. And then you select the simplest LP. That is an algorithm. Nadia.
Yes, sir. Please, sir, I don't know where the integer can be found because when I'm doing mine, like the right-hand side, I'm not seeing anything
It
that
won't
should.
come in the right-hand side. Let me show you. It won't come in the right-hand side. Okay. When you click here, it is this arrow here that you will see through. Look, you see, when I was here, you weren't following me. It is through this one. When you click this little arrow, it will show as INT. It is an INT that you will select. And once you select the INT, the word integer will automatically be written. So you don't type it there. You select the INT and the integer is selected.
Oh, okay, sir. So, but when I did the relation side, I didn't get int, but I had integer there. And when I did the integer, it doesn't give me anything at my right hand side.
You mean you didn't get the word int? You got the full word integer?
Yes, sir.
Never true. Which laptop is?
So I'm using a Lenovo.
If you get,
I can take a
integer, it's okay. Leave it as it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you select simplex LP. And that's it. You click solve. After that, you click solve. It tells you that it's got a solution. Now at this stage, you click restore original values. Okay. And then you click answer. Actually, when you look at mine on the top, you will see that there is all of the decision variables are integers up there. But there's something I'm supposed to get a non-negativity, but I'm not getting a negative. Let me just cancel it and see. So let me just do the solver again, double check. So you click on the maximize, you click on the B2 to E2, which is all the individual variables. And then you set the constraint. I think I did all. I don't know what else. Who had his non-negative, his sensitivity report show? Which of you had your sensitivity report show? Bernard, you did?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sometimes some of these things can happen. So when it happens like that, you don't worry, you just go through it all again. Did you also institute the integrality constraint?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. What was your X1 value?
The final value?
Yeah.
12,000.
12,000. For X1?
Yeah, X1.
And X for?
X for 0.
So you got that same thing that I had, X for 0. What was your X2?
X2, 1,666.67.
So there is
That's not correct. That's not correct.
So that is not correct. How did you get in decimal?
X1 is
Relax,
11,600.
And then X2 is 2,000.
Yes. S3 is 12,500.
100.
Yes, correct.
X4 is 0.
Did you get a sensitivity report?
Yes.
No, but what you said was, you scared them and they had to tell you that, but, you didn't get something right. All right. So the key point is that you got a sensitivity. You got everything fine. In my case, for some potential reason, my sensitivity is not showing. Let me just keep the values. But the results are here, exactly how most of you have had it.
Hello, sir.
Doc, you see that you've not clicked on the restore original values.
Yeah, I didn't click it because I wasn't getting my sensitivity. That's why I chose this one. But in any case, when you all look at the answer report, the answers I had is exactly the same thing that the answer had.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. If I get an error message that says the objective cell values do not converge, what will I be doing wrong? Thank you.
Well, the only thing you'll be doing wrong is you have to go and ensure that your values you typed were correct, and then your formula you typed were correct. You just have to, sometimes you see it quickly, sometimes you have to struggle. Yeah. You just have to, check your numbers. Maybe your formulated value were not the same as the numbers. Yes, John Armstrong.
Doc, I want to ask you a question. It's in two folds. Okay, so the first one is, with you not getting your sensitivity reports, is this something normal? Because it seems quite unusual. And the second one is with the...
I've just made a typo somewhere, an error somewhere.
Okay, and the second one is with the constraints. You see, whenever I'm solving this kind of questions, I don't put the title, that like the constraints, the LHS, the sign, the RHS. Does that free some marks or it's not necessary?
What do you put there?
I don't put anything there. So if I get a 0, when I put a function, dollarize the DV, I just drag it down.
Yeah, so you combine the RHS into this column.
Yeah. I mean, you see, with yours, you on top of it, you put LHS sign RHS because
so you don't put these signs, right?
No, I mean the title, the caption you give to it. You get it. You see, after you dollarize the DV, you have to copy.
If you don't want to put the signs there, it's okay. You don't want to put the title.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to find out. Thank you.
Okay. Who else? Bernard, your hand is up.
Yes, so I've gotten my constraints, the right-hand side. I had 1,005 there instead of 2,000. So that's where the error was. I've corrected it.
What happens? When you go through that, the most powerful thing is not you getting it wrong, but the powerful thing is knowing what your problem is and solving it. That is even more powerful than you got all the things correct. Because in problems are solutions. Yes, Ishmael.
Hello, Doc. Doc, with I didn't bring the integer, but I had my x1 to be 11,600, x2 2,000, x3 12,500, x4 0. But I didn't include the integer when I was trying my hands on it before you proceed, sir.
So,
but my values were equal to my other colleagues who mentioned this earlier.
It's possible that it probably doesn't need, like I said, it's possible that you probably don't need an integrity constraint. Maybe we don't even need an integrity constraint. Like this. Just watch this. See, now that I removed the integrity constraint, I have my sensitivity report. So I can now get my sensitivity report. So maybe we don't need the integrity constraint. And you get the same as this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Dennis.
Hello, Doc. Yeah, that was what I wanted to point out, that if you take off the integer rule, that's when you get a sensitivity report.
All right, so guys, what we've just done, this last one is the deeper part. You are formulating, and then you are also solving. The most important thing is the Excel. Then there will be some questions you have to address. So there will be some questions. For example, when you look at the original one, there are questions that you have to address. But in your case, you are solving, you are formulating, then you are solving in Excel, and then you are addressing the questions. Addressing the questions, the sensitivity questions. For example, let's go to the question. One of the questions says, so this is a question. So when you come down here, the question says that, what is a recommended daily production plan and what is anticipated profit in? The recommended daily production plan, how would you have answered it? What is a recommended daily production?
The optimal solution.
Is the optimal solution. Where do you get it?
Find it in the final value column of the variable cells.
That's it. That's it. So you get 11,600, then you get a 2,000, then the 12,500, and then nothing for gentle beer. And then the next one is the correspond anticipated profit. So how do you get anticipated profit? You multiply the final value by the objective coefficient. Each final value by the objective coefficient. Each final value. So you take each final value here, and then you multiply it by each objective coefficient. And that'll give you your final answer. The next part of the question says, how does the recommended production plan compare with the currently used production plan? Currently used production plan were the ones you have here. Okay. It was to 8,000, 3,800. At this one, we have 11,000, 2,000. Then you had 12,000, but we had 12,500. And then we had 0, but they had 7. So what would you say? How does it compare? Well, very simply, you can see that the current production plan yields a profit. So you have to calculate the profit that you had before. If you check the profit, okay, the current one that they had, not the one we had, they had. If you also multiply each one of them by the coefficient, you will get 4,504. But our own, if you check it, if you multiply each coefficient by the objective, each coefficient by the final value, you will get 4,738. Just put them down. So you get 4,738. That is what our Excel will give. But the current production plan will give you 4,504, which means that the one we just did in the Excel gives you more profit, 234 more profit. So what would be the recommendation? The recommendation would be that the production plan that we have performs better than the current one they had. Okay. And so it's better for us to use our own, not their own. Yes, Elsie.
Yeah, please. Can you please take the I again? How we got the current production value? You were breaking, so I couldn't really hear much.
Current production values were given to us here. These were the values. They were given to us from the onset up here. So you just take each of them, 8,000, 3,800, and multiply each of them one by the coefficient here. When you do that, you multiply each of them by the coefficient here. You will now know the profit from them. And then you take our own. Our own is the one here on the left. You also multiply our own by the same coefficient. And you will see that our own will give you more profit than theirs. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Now, the next part says, interpret the shadow price of apostle beer. See, this is apostle beer constraint. The shadow price there is negative. What does that mean? A negative shadow price means that when you increase the right-hand side for that variable, profit is going to go down. So how would you have interpreted it? It's simple. Okay. Anytime there's a 1 unit increase in the apostle beer bottles, okay, the company will lose $0.016 in profit. In other words, if you should, it also means that if you decrease the apostle beer, you see the apostle beer, there was an overload there. There was somebody who needed more of it, 2,000 more, or at least 2,000. Do you remember? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that acquisition person is worrying the company. So they have to reduce. If you reduce the number of bottles of apostle beer, the company will increase profit rather. That's what it means. If you reduce it, the company will increase profit. If you increase it, the company will reduce profit. So that is what it means. That negativity, that is what it means. If you are taking notes, then you know what you got to do. Then the next part of the question says, what would you say to a new customer who wants 600 bottles of gentle beer? 600 bottles. of gentle beer. See, this is gentle beer. If somebody wants 600 bottles of gentle beer, the allowable increase is what?
0.2.
0.2.
So if somebody wants 600 bottles of gentle beer, what would be your... And remember, this 600 bottles of gentle beer means that you are increasing the final value from 0 to 600. If somebody wants the 600 bottles of gentle beer, what do you... This is a very smart question. What would you say to that new customer? You tell that new customer to increase the price, the per unit price or profit. Right now it is $0.16. That's why you are not sending, you are not actually producing it. So you tell that person that you should increase it by 0.2. So you got to move it from 0.16 to 0.18 minimum. Anything below that you won't sell. You should increase it to that. So it's currently not profitable to produce gentle beer. That's what it means. Because the resource requirement and the per unit profit relative to the others is not good. That's why the value is 0. So if this advice is not heeded, each bottle of gentle beer will result in a loss of profit of $0.2, which is what you saw in the allowable units. So, and you can see that in the shadow price. So don't force to produce gentle beer, else you incur a loss of profit. But if you want me to produce gentle beer, because right now I don't want to produce it, then you have to increase the per unit profit by 0.2. That would be good for me. Yes, Bernard.
Yeah, so please, quick question. I think earlier on you mentioned that the 0.16 plus 0.2 was 0.18, but it's supposed to be 0.36.
0.36 was for sugar.
To the gentle beer, the coefficient plus the allowable increase.
This one?
Yes, sir. It's supposed to be, when added, it's supposed to be 0.36.
You're right, you're right. So it will increase by 0.2, so it will move from 0.16 to 0.36. Yes. Yeah, thank you for that. So that is it. That is how you analyze. This kind of question is a very deep question, so you should just always... Yes, yes.
Sir, please, I wanted to ask the variable cells, on the part of the gentle beer. So when I formulated it, I don't know if the question is different from what we formulated, because I got the reduced cost to be negative 0.16, and then the coefficient objective 0.2, and then allowable increase 0.16. So I just wanted to be sure if I'm not wrong, or is the question.
What's your formulation for that? It may have...
like how you did it.
Yes, so it may have come from your... What do you call it? Did you use a 5 or the 8?
The 5. I used 5.
You use a 5?
Yes, please.
Check. Yes, we use a 5, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is why you got that. But the one you are seeing in the exam question, they use the 8.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Remember, I told you that there is that sort of discrepancy there.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, then we look at the final question there, which is... What's the final question here says that, do you think the capacity of the inventory... Oh, no, there's a question here. Would objective value change if the unit profit of a bottle of Apostle beer increases by 0.02? If a unit bottle of Apostle beer increases by 0.02, would objective function change? will the objective value change if the unit profit of a bottle of increases by a point? Yes, it will change, isn't it? You get that? It will change. Answer that question, haven't you? I think we've answered that question. Why? Because
we have.
Yeah, if you increase, okay, the increase must exceed allowable increase of 0.16. So the linear programming problem would have to be resolved for a new production plan. So of course it will change. It's not a problem. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Do you think the capacity of inventory is a hindrance? That capacity of inventory, do you think it's a hindrance? Do you know the capacity of inventory? That was it a 2001?
30,000.
30,000.
30,000.
Yeah, why is that?
The X
20 here, isn't it? Oh, it's not. It's not in the constraints here.
Not here.
Yes. So that's it. So the question is, do you think it's a hindrance? Why that? You think that is a hindrance? No, it's not. Why? Because currently, if you check, the inventory is underutilized. Out of the 30,000 bottles it can sell, only how many is it selling? Check that.
26,100.
26,300.
Well, it depends on which one, whether you use my Excel or you're using the one here. But you're all right. Okay. It's actually, if you're using the one here, it's 26,100. That's what is being used. So it cannot be a hindrance to maximize profit. Okay. So do you think the capacity of the inventory is a hindrance? No. It cannot be, because we are actually producing using below that capacity. And you know.
So the previous question about if the unit profit of Apostle beer increases by 0.02,
Did it say 0.02?
will it change? Yes, that's $0.02. That's what's in the question.
Yeah, what's your question?
By
0.2.
Please, what I see here in the question is increases by $0.02.
Your
So
question?
my question is, yes. So my question is that the how do you call it? The allowable increase is 0.016.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask if you could also use the range, apart from just looking at the allowable increase.
But allowable increase is part of the range, right? It's part of the range.
Yes, please.
Their question is, the value change? And the answer is yes. Because remember, what you are doing is that you are increasing the thing. Okay? And the question is, that 0.02, is it within the allowable increase? Is it within the sensitivity range? Okay. Check it. Is it within? Supposed to be right. Look at that. This is it. First of all, we have 0.2. And we are increasing it. Okay. We are increasing the thing from 0.2 to 0.216. Isn't it? 0.216 is still within the allowable, the sensitivity range. Watch it.
right.
It's still within. You're going to get 0.216. It's still within the sensitivity range, because the lower part is what? 0.
0.
This one is it. The lower part is going to be 0. Then the upper part is going to be 0.216. And then the two that we are having, The coefficient of 2 is within that sensitivity range. So what we know is that the optimal solution is not going to change. So the 2,000 will still remain the same. But what is going to change is that the profit, because the question was also on the profit. The person says that, well, the objective function, that's the profit value, will it change? Which function value will change? Okay, so we go to the last one for today. How many constraints are binding and which are these? This one is the easiest question. How many constraints are binding and which ones are these? How many constraints? Is this a binding or not binding? How many constraints are binding? Okay.
3.
3. Mention them.
Okay. I'm coming now.
Now, inventory, flavor 3.
Inventory is not binding.
You are looking at your Excel, right?
Yes.
Just look at the one on the screen here.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at the one on the screen, this one is binding, apostle beer, to ethanol.
And sugar.
Sugar and apostle beer.
Sugar.
Yeah, the same values.
Yeah. But remember that you had other ones, right? If you remember your equation and you substitute, see, even though some of your one that you did are not here, you have to use the one that you formulated. And then you substitute it. And then you see whether the left-hand side is the same as the right side. But you go and check, you see that ethanol here is 5,000, isn't it? But in our own, go and check the original one. Ethanol was 5,000. And if you take each of the, look at your formulation for ethanol.
The ethanol was 2,400.
Yeah, for the left-hand side.
You're looking at the Excel, but I'm talking about your own formulation.
Ethanol was 5,000.
Yeah.
So the right side was 5,000, but the left hand side is 2,400.
It's not binding.
Because remember that ethanol is not showing you.
Yeah, ethanol is not binding.
Ethanol is not shown in the Excel.
Yeah, so should we give you the binding constraints on our side?
Exactly, on your formulated model.
Okay, so we have contracts. It's
Yeah.
binding.
Sugar.
Exactly.
And then, yes, sugar.
And then flavor 3.
Exactly.
And yes,
Flavor 3.
Not to substitute. At least you know what it is. That's the point. That's the whole point. You should know what it is, and then now indicate which ones are binding, and which ones are not. Okay. So the last bit of that question was, what was the question? What was the last bit of the question? It says that note some of the constraints are not shown. Did you see that question? That part of the question. Let me show you.
Yes, sir.
It says that note some of the constraints are not shown, and you may have to figure them out by yourself. So that's why I say you have to go to your original model and then check. And for that to work, you need to substitute the values of the x1, x2, x3, x4. And after the substitution, you will know, oh, this one is the same as the left-hand side. This one is. If you have been able to understand what we have done today, take a question, formulate it, solve it in Excel yourself, and then ask the series of questions. I've given you other questions as well. I can give you more, and you can check it. Ladies and gentlemen, the lecture is even there, but some are tired and gone. So that should tell you that you yourself, your capacity level is low. Yes, Elsie.
So concerning the VIII, okay, the part where you said that note some of the constraints are not shown and you may have to figure them out by yourselves. You stated that we have to now substitute the values of x1 to x4 in order to get them. Do we have to do them one by one for all the constraints to solve it?
Yes, for those that you don't have.
Okay.
Most of the constraints are already in the Excel, but for those that you don't have, yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Bernard.
Okay, so please, one of the questions you sent us, there was a question that was asked. It says, what is the minimum profit required? But this was a maximization problem. But then I had a question that had to do with the minimum profit required from.
Minimum profit required is the upper bound of the sensitivity range.
Upper bound.
Write it down first, and then you go and think through. The minimum profit required would be, because the question was on a reduced cost value that was non-zero, isn't it? Isn't it, Bernard?
Yeah, the reduced cost was non-zero.
Exactly. So that is the one we normally ask questions like that. And I'm telling you that the minimum value required to make that value profitable is the upper bound of the sensitivity range. Write it down and go and think it through.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, guys. I wish you all the very best.
Hello, Doc.
Recording ready, yes.
Doc, please, quick one. I want to find out if you have the model solution to this particular question, and you can share on our WhatsApp, because at some point, some of the writings, because of the page, there's nothing. Okay, that's fine.
Think it through, go through the recording. It's enough for you to be able to capture everything.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay.
You are the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are grateful, Doc.
Thank you so much, Doc.
God
We are
bless
very
you.
grateful.
We are
Doc.
grateful. What time is
Thank you
that?
so much.
Richard, what's up?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay.
2 p.m. Oh.
You'll be fine. Just
thank you,
a positive attitude. Keep refreshing your mind from today.